Hello! Welcome to another compilation of scary stories from Reddit. Today I'll be presenting you guys with 5 new creepy scary stories, so be prepared. Also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe for regular uploads of true scary stories. Now with that done, let's begin with the stories. Dreamweaver by AdvilCaplet. My whole life I've had this same exact dream, all the time. In the dream I am walking down the hallway in my basement. Finally, when I reach the end, a tall shadow grabs me, picks me up, and throws me down. I feel the pain in my back, and the hands grab my stomach. I hit the ground and fall into a hole that leads to a void. It's all white, until a flash sends it red and yellow. 2 lions and a demonic being with a skull mask stand there and watch. I always wake up from this same exact dream covered in sweat. His mask is like that of a deer with antlers, and he wields a meat hook. I'm not sure why. Whenever I'm having bad days, I get headaches, visions and dreams of everyone I love hung up with this exact meat hook, hanging down from the sky in a black void with one overhead light. I have mental problems and I see things, and it's always the tall black creature that grabs me in the beginning. When I walk, I become paranoid of my whereabouts and surrounding. I always feel like I see a lion ready to pounce. The worst part about all of this is, I can hear him speaking to me in ways nobody could understand. I feel him and his presence. I sense something is wrong and that I'm not safe. People either never believe me about this, or think I'm crazy. But maybe I am. Going insane from how horrible my life is. I await and fear the day that the Dreamweaver in my head comes for me. And I fear he will take my loved ones, and everything else. I hope this is mental and not sane for the safety of them who I love. The Dead Child by Ava 3333. He was just young and didn't know any better. That is what he says. A young dad with no family. When he was 19, a 17-year-old girl was his girlfriend. She was using him. He thought he was in love with her. She gave birth to a little girl and left her with him when he was 20. For the next 10 years he took care of her. She was a good 10-year-old. She was nearly a teenager. He fell in love with a rich 40-year-old woman when he was 30. She kept the secret of her kidney issues. She died a few months later. He was broke again with a pubescent 10-year-old girl. His ex-wife had no family. His own family disown him, and he doesn't talk to his mother or her family. His business was failing. He had to get his daughter pads, food, school stuffs, toys and etc. He had to get his own needs, wants, and to pay for other stuff. People told him to kill her. He made the worst decision of his life. He had a deep relationship with his daughter. He thought it was the right thing to do. It broke his heart to do it. He loved her. One day she came home from school. He grabbed her hand and dragged to the cutter and put her on it. He turned it on. She was scared and crying. He seen the mess with his eyes. An hour passed and he let the animals out and gave them her body. He let the animals eat her and he ran for the city. He feels really sorry for what he's done. Later he started a new business and a new life. 12 years pass and he is 42 now. He was looking for a child to adopt. He's seen twins, a boy and girl who were 10, and their 3-year-old brother. His ex-baby mama sent him her newborn daughter. He saw a homeless mother with her son that was 4 years old. He married her later and they had a daughter together. He had a happy family, but he felt sorry about his old daughter, the one that he killed. He was having dreams of a life where he let her live. What would she look like? One day his wife was going to see her family, and he had to look after the kids. He realized he needed to go get food, so he told the twins to take care of their younger siblings. He went through his favorite abandoned town. He never saw anyone in that town before. He saw a little girl that looked like his old daughter. He felt really sorry when he looked at her. He thought it was a coincidence. She started to walk closer to him. 2 days later, a rich 43-year-old man was found dead by his 6 kids and wife. Never Alone by LovellGrove. What I'm about to tell you is something that I've spent years trying and failing to put out of my mind. It's the reason why my family moved from my hometown when I was little. It's the reason why I've rarely been able to sleep soundly without moving something heavy in front of my bedroom door. I've been through multiple therapists, all with little impact, because of this story. I'm not very confident in the idea of sharing it here being helpful, but I'm getting desperate. When I was 8, my parents went out to dinner to celebrate their anniversary. We lived on a secluded piece of land on the outskirts of a town. The house wasn't far off from the state mental hospital, set up in the forest. One of several reasons I've wondered, looking back, why my parents didn't think to keep any real weapons in the house. The town itself already had an ugly crime rate, and we lived in an area where it'd take the cops like 15 minutes to reach us. Not the most ideal spot. I'll never be making the same mistake, I can tell you that much. Anyways, my folks left me and my twin brother with our babysitter that night. She was the same babysitter we had several times before, and that was for good reason. She always kept us occupied, and was easy to get along with. Truth be told, she mostly sticks in my mind due to the former. I was sort of a paranoid child. If you've spent any significant time in Haven, that likely doesn't surprise you. There was just something about that place that felt unnatural. Like things were there that shouldn't have been. Especially when I'd spend any time near the forest. Whatever was hiding there, I could always feel its eyes on me. And I could feel them from inside my house that night as well. Over the course of the next few hours after my folks left, I tried not to focus on it. I tried to distract myself by playing games and watching TV, my brother doing the same. It worked better than you might be thinking. While the uneasy feeling never really went away, it was easy to ignore. The real trouble came at bedtime. Me and my brother weren't quite tired enough to fall asleep yet, so the babysitter let us stay up a bit later to watch TV and wind down in our shared bedroom. She flipped through several different channels before stumbling across an emergency news broadcast. The reporter said that a crazed murderer had escaped from the nearby hospital after killing one of the guards, and was on the run from local authorities. He was believed to still be in the area and was armed with an old hatchet. Police were urging residents to lock their doors and windows because the man was extremely dangerous. To call this news unsettling would be quite an understatement, and, of course, the babysitter instantly tried to change the channel to something more kid-friendly. It didn't help much. After about 10 more minutes, she decided we'd stayed up long enough. As she tucked us in, we kept asking her if she'd remembered to lock the house up. She assured us that she'd locked everything before saying goodnight and heading back to the living room to wait for my parents to come home. Eventually, my brother and I fell into restless sleeps. After maybe 15 minutes, we woke up to what the sounds of thumping and crashing. At first, we didn't even know where it was coming from, but as we grew wider awake we realized the sounds were coming from downstairs. Out of curiosity, we decided to sneak into the hallway and peer down into the living room. We both still wish we hadn't. In what little light the TV provided to the otherwise dark room, we saw our babysitter, writhing in pain on the floor. She had her hands pressed against her stomach and blood was leaking from between her fingers. But that wasn't all. The hooded man responsible was standing close by, lazily holding a bloody hatchet in his right hand. Me and my brother stood frozen in fear until we saw him lift his head, at which point we ran back to our room and blocked the door off with the room's bookshelf. I think I saw a demon as a child. By stretch_A_A_29. As a kid, I was raised Lutheran and attended Lutheran school. As most Christian denominations teach, I was taught that paranormal activity is demons disguising themselves as friendly spirits to take advantage of vulnerable people and possess them. I still believe in this and I've had very minimal paranormal experiences in my life, but there's one that has always stuck with me. I believe I was 8 or 9 years old when this happened. I was sleeping in bed with my mom one night, while my stepdad was working. I woke up in the midday of the night to use the bathroom. My mom's bathroom had 2 decent-sized windows in it, one of which was directly across from the toilet. The foot of my mom's bed was facing the bathroom door and I could see the windows while I was lying in bed. From the windows you could only see the wood line that ran beside our house and our backyard with a pond and small dam. I hopped out of bed and walked to the bathroom door. I felt an odd sense of anxiety walking to the bathroom. I was afraid of the dark, but the windows in the bathroom did let in a good amount of light, even at night. When I got to the threshold, I looked out of the window across from the toilet and in the bottom left corner I saw a black head/face with 2 horns, possibly ears, on the top of the head. There were no eyes, no mouth or anything. Just the shape. While I was looking at it, it quickly darted downward to the ground level and disappeared. This is the only paranormal experience that I've had where I can remember it so clearly. The only other similar experiences I've had are hearing noises and footsteps when I was home alone, which I usually chalked up to me being paranoid. Has anyone else seen something like this? Where do I go from here? By easy_bake_lovin'. I believe in energy. I believe there is a plane in which humans cannot perceive unless opened up to that type of experience. I feel that I am a very intuitive person and can pick up on energies/people very naturally and easily. My partner and I have moved into a new home for the next few months. His mother bought it pretty suddenly last year, and she rents it as an Airbnb. That is to say, we are nowhere near the original owners and his family are not from the area. So we start living here around 2.5 weeks ago. I definitely get an off feeling with the house, do not like the basement. I don't know, could just be moving nerves, so I just want to settle in and reevaluate later. There's a 3-day period when I am alone in the home, and that is when I start to really feel uneasy. There is a full side of the house that seriously gives me the creeps. Especially at night. The other windows, including the large picture window in the living room, don't give me that feeling. I have a true sense of dread that if I look out the window long enough, or glance without being on guard, a young woman will be there. She will be in the yard or closer to the window, but she will be standing outside looking at me. I just know it. I have not seen this, but it is a feeling in the pit of my stomach. So I avoid the windows that face to the east. I have not said this to my partner, but at night I keep my eyes down because the feeling has just not gone away. But this morning we are talking. I ask, "How do you feel in the house?" My partner replies, "It's okay, but the basement seriously gives me the creeps." Valid, it is an unfinished basement space, usually creepy. And then he continues, "And I don't know, but it feels like sometimes someone is watching me." I ask, "Like, when?" And he says, "Like in the kitchen. It feels as if someone is in the backyard." My stomach dropped. That is the exact space I feel uneasy in. My partner is not who I would call an intuitive person, which is why I feel so shook that he also felt this. And now, I'm curious. I'm not sure who or what this entity is. I'm not sure their intent. I'm not trying to conduct a seance to invite any unknown spirit into my home. But there is something out there. I feel the presence of a young woman. That is just my feeling. I feel very uneasy in the basement. I feel like I am being watched, but just in a certain area. Where do I go from here? I've done a few Google searches for the house and found the previous family that lived here. The last woman to own it died in 2020. No crime records that I can find. I'm leery to extend my energy to whatever is out there, but at the same time I almost feel compelled to figure out who this is, if it is in fact someone. I felt like if anyone would know what to do from here on out, it would be you all. Thanks, in advance. That's all for today. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and share it with your friends and family. If you have any crazy story that you would like to share on my channel, send an email at horroxperiencemedia@gmail.com. You can find it in the description box too. With that, this video ends here, and I'll see you in the next one.